Yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? Welcome to this stream of sorts, where I hope we talk about things. Just sort of daydream, you know? What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good from this angle right here. Then it just changes. I think it looks cool in the camera, at least. Me personally, but you know. Obviously, it's okay for a guy to have long hair nowadays, but if you do this, it's like, holy hell, hellfire or something. Kind of interesting. Trying to think when the last time I saw somebody with hair like this was. Probably me. The last time I saw someone was me again. Like a couple of years ago when I worked for Amazon, I went to work one day and had spikes. Just trying to make sure to keep going, you know, with this whole stream and reward myself after I go to the gym and try to pick up where I left off yesterday with my Yo, what's up, Matthew? Good, man. I'm just hanging out in a coffee shop, drinking a coffee, just talking. Whoever wants to talk. Talking about whatever, you know. I kind of had this thought this morning. It was like, life was crazy, but once it reached the point of where it was like crazy, it was like, it's also normal at the same time. Basically, because it had reached some point where it was like stable. But it was like kind of like a brain fart, you know what I mean? But I think like intense thoughts somehow are like sort of shared with like the idea of a brain fart. A brain fart is like you messed up with something in your head, right? But ultimately, I think that like you have some coffee right now, Biggs. Nice. Yep, I got mine. Man. Yeah, ultimately, I think like these intense moments of like where you can come to like conclusions about reality and stuff like that. It sort of is almost like you're having a brain fart, but it's just clarity. It's like the idea of things being clear somehow in all of this chaos and confusion. But it was like normal was crazy because it could be nothing else, basically. So everything that was, you know, it was normal while simultaneously being crazy because it couldn't be anything else. So crazy was normal. Something along those lines. Yo, what's up, Robloxian? What's up, man? You guys want to see something kind of cool? Would we die without rest? Yeah, like, I think physically, you know what I mean? Like, but you can like say that while you're alive, your body's always running, you know what I mean? It's like the car never really shuts off. 11 days is what it takes, Robloxian, you think, for you to die? Watch this though, look, I can like make it go from like, changes all these perspectives of it. Yeah, I think ultimately we're never really at rest, you know what I mean? Kind of thing, but like without sleep. I don't know, I'm sure there's some people that have gone pretty long before. You know, life reaches extremes, and there's always like an example of somebody who's like done something extreme that you'll never beat them at, you know? But ultimately, I kind of think we never rest, you know? Like, even to take it like one step further, right? So it's like, you can say we rest, which means we go to sleep. You can say we rest when we die, but ultimately I think that there's never, silence isn't true. Silence is like antimatter. It doesn't exist. Somehow it exists in like opposite world or whatever, but Matthew says we only got one life. That's right. But that one life, you can become many things in that one life. But yeah, I sort of had this thought a little bit this morning. I was like, maybe there's something to that. Yeah, it's purple too, look. It has purple on the tips. It took like an hour and a half to do this, because you have to do the spikes like 3 times. You have to like build it up with like gel and then hairspray it, and then it's not really that good, and then you do it again with more gel and more hairspray, and then you hairspray the whole thing and you blow dry it. And you have to like hold, like your arm has to be like this, and you have to like hold it like this for like 5 minutes while you're like blow drying with this hand right here. So it takes like, you have to be kind of like strong to do it as well. Like my arm was getting tired. And like one of them was like starting to shake when I was like holding it up, you know? So yeah, it takes a lot of work to do hair like this. It's definitely not like an everyday hairstyle, but do I miss my long hair? You know what? I think people, like, I was more popular with it online. It's kind of like a catch-22 kind of thing or whatever, because like I enjoyed having long hair, but I hated like the fact that it was always getting in my face. Like it always gets in your eyes, and you go to eat and it always gets in your mouth. You're like going to drive and it like gets in your eyes and stuff like that. So the only thing you can do is wear a ponytail, right? But then you just look like a bum. And it's like, I also got kind of like sick of like seeing other guys with long hair, and I was just like, man, you make this look so bad because you guys never like do anything with it. You guys never style it or put product in it or anything like that. And I just felt like there's too many guys that look so gross with long hair that I didn't want to be a part of that group. It was like I didn't want to be a part of that group of people that looked gross with this. So there's too many like negatives for me. Like I liked it, and I liked how I took care of it, but there's too many people that I feel like don't, and I just don't want to be like, I don't want to be clumped into that group of like old guys that have long hair and it's just like gross or something, you know, so. But those are my thoughts, yeah. I mean, I thought it looked cool, and like I said, I think I was more popular on streams. Like, we used to get like hundreds of people coming in here or whatever, and like chat was just like rolling. It's because I think people really like the long hair. They're like, whoa, wow, and the beard. You know, they thought it was cool or whatever. But people like the idea of like different, you know what I mean? Like something different. People are all about it. But it only takes one person to make different, just be like, okay, I don't want to be that different, you know, kind of thing. Or whatever. Look, I look like a star that's like shining in all directions or something. Yeah. But yeah, my voice is so deep now for some reason. I used to have such a high voice growing up, but now it's super deep. I have no idea why. But yeah, guys, I wonder if it's better to just like try to create this experience, you know, where you don't have to feel like you have to like create something very complicated to like express intelligence. It's sort of just like, I want humbleness. I want to be humble, and I want to be like much more reserved. I want to have like some reservation, you know what I mean? But it's like difficult to balance this idea of like where I'm reaching my point every day, where I feel like I've expressed something new and conducive towards living a life that you know, isn't just wasted, isn't just placated and you know, stuck on the bench. Like I want to be something that feels like it's respected. And I think respect is something that, you know, when you finally gain that, you can sort of exist on the place of a professional. I want to be a professional, but I want to be a professional in my own way, you know? And it's like, there's a lot of ways to go about it, but I think luck has like one of the biggest factors that is involved within like being like a professional whatever, you know? And so maybe somehow if I can like manage risk so well that I like touch upon so many points, then somehow I can like reach a place where it's recognizable just based upon like never having any luck involved, but ultimately I got to the place where it was like luck has to do with a perspective. And ultimately by my reaching every perspective, that's all luck was in the beginning. And the only reason we perceive anything as luck anyways is because we're perceiving it with the bias of perspective, because something lucky is always going to be unlucky from another perspective. So maybe if I can touch upon so many perspectives, then maybe eventually I can equate work with luck somehow. Just like equating craziness with normalcy. Somehow. You're from England, Halifax, England? Nice. We have a couple of people from England that come and join my chat every once in a while. So, Yeah, a couple people. There's a person named Gigi that comes in, and they're from England. They haven't come in like a couple days though, but I've been to England once, to the airport. I went on a trip and I went to Russia, and I went to the airport in Russia, and I spoke with somebody about their language, Cyrillic, for like an hour. And then I flew to England, and I spoke with the guy who was like selling candy there for a while. I found some money on the ground that had like the Queen on it or whatever in the airport, and it looked like a lot of people use trains to like travel around, you know. So I've experienced a little bit of England. It was like very green and like looked like a bunch of farms around where I landed and stuff. It was neat looking. I had a brother who lived in England for like 6 months or something like that too. He worked with a guy named Lord Hastings at the House of Lords or something, is what it was. So yeah, I had a brother. Can we create smells and aromas, or is there just a limited amount of smells that exist? I think that ultimately everything can be sort of boiled down or like simmered down to just be like a few things, you know what I mean? It's like primary colors. It's like there's really only like every color that you can actually have in existence is made off of what? It's like red, blue, and yellow. Isn't it? Isn't it red, blue, and yellow? You can make every color, right? They're called primary colors. So it's like I think smells and stuff like that, you can make, I think you can create like basically anything with like a primary sensory experience, you know? But those are the primary colors, right? I'm not getting those wrong, am I? So maybe there's like primary smells. Maybe there's like primary personalities. Maybe there's like primary geography. It's like everything in life is like a reflection of like characteristics. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I think that there is like, you know, but I think from those three things, you can basically have like an unlimited amount. Like 3 is a magic number, you know, I think. And it's like, you know, sort of just like creates the difference always. Like you can continually create difference forever with 3 things, 3 points. So yeah, I'm wondering if there's like some way that it's like I can reach some sort of idea, create a foundation for myself where it's like I don't have to be so outspoken or like active in like the ability to perceive like creativity and stuff like that. Like I can make red, blue, and yellow something to behold somehow, you know? Or whatever, back to basics in some sense, and understand that the basics like hold all the truth. I kind of want to be somewhere that you're speaking of to an extent, you know? I want to live basically, but I want to be able to look at basics like they contain everything. Infinity, yeah, it's like an idea. A lot of people just say God is the word because you can use words to express ideas, things that are non-physical, right? Like infinity is like a non-physical thing. It's like a concept or an idea. But that's why you can't prove it either, though. I don't think you can prove infinity, you know what I mean? You can like have it make sense, but there's a lot of things that make sense based upon like different perspectives you have on them. That's why I said maybe I can like equate luck with work if I touch upon every perspective, because all luck is just looking at something from a positive perspective, I think. My stream might be kind of shorter today. I've been running everything pretty short. I got a medium coffee last time for this. I got a small coffee today. It's already gone. Just like putting money on a table. My life doesn't revolve around much money. I think money represents value and like a sense of relationship. I think ultimately money is like a metaphor for like popularity and like familiarity and your surroundings. I think that you accumulate wealth through a knowledge of your personality. Is our life just habits? You know, that kind of gets into psychology a little bit. Like I've taken some psychology classes, but I've never taken like advanced psychology. I've taken more like biomedical ethics. The highest thing that like sort of relates to psychology that I've taken is philosophy. I do know some psychology, like Freud's like it and the ego, and like the subconscious and the conscious. You know, but maybe life is just like, I think to an extent, like, especially when things get really complicated, I think that we sort of resort to a primitive nature. Like, you know what I mean? When we come to a computer, it's like just pounding on something, you know? To an extent, everything that's very complicated is very primitive. Just like the idea that infinity is related to one, you know, because it's a number. So the most complicated form of technology or idea out there has to relate somehow to something very simple and basic. And I think there is some truth that we come to we come to like advanced machines and all we're doing is just like poking something, pushing buttons, or like putting stuff on a table, like we're just like smashing something, you know what I mean? Like it's all very basic. Everything that's very advanced has to relate to everything that's basic. Just like the way your head is related to your feet. You know what I mean? It's through this interaction. But I think that like a lot of complicated things in this world are related to basic ideas. And to think more basically, I don't think that it will detract from your experience. I think that if you look at the world in that way, you are communicating in a lot of the same ways. Maybe not exactly the same, but in a lot of the same ways with your reality and your environment. So yeah, to an extent, I think we do hold on to a lot of things, you know? I've been trying to play Marvel Rivals and it's super hard. I got put in the Bronze League, but I call myself the Bronze God. Because it's like, I just don't quit. People can say they're better than me, but I'm not gonna quit, you know? In life too. Like people can say they're better than me, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna quit. So yeah, like I got put in bronze and I'm just like, oh, you know what? Like I'll use my words and see where I end up ultimately, you know what I mean? I think words kind of develop us and characterize us, and like create a pathway for us to go. So it's just like people want to label me as something, then I think eventually I'll end up somewhere where my words sort of equate to my surroundings and they actually have a weight to them, you know, and I can actually be somewhere that I feel like is justified based upon, you know, my habits and things like that. But I don't let people tell me that they're better than me and stuff like that. I don't think anybody should. I don't think anybody should feel that way. You know, everybody has to live up to this standard of something that doesn't exist, especially in business. Everybody has these ideas and ideals, but it's statistics. And in statistics, is statistically impossible to be the perfect average as it is to be something that doesn't reach the average. Like it's, you know what I mean? Something else. So I don't think anybody should try to recreate themselves to try to be some image that reality paints. I think you should try to be yourself, and you should try to work on your relationships with things and with people and whatever else, and figure out where like you feel like you need to improve. If it's within some form of expression of language so that people can understand where you fit in best, then work on that, because ultimately the most basic thing you can work on is your words, but that's going to tell people where you should reside, is by working with words. Ultimately, there's going to be like where you fit in or where you end up is ultimately going to be depicted by something as simple as what you can say, I think at least. So working on something like that, I think is much more effective than trying to like build up on habits that I think are just so like in the moment kind of things. Like work on something which allows people to know that you should be where you are. And I think language is one of those things that definitely helps with that. Yeah, everybody should work on themselves and like don't be too tunnel visioned into any like, you know, any form of thinking in life. If you think life's all about money, you're probably wrong. If you think life's all about creativity, you're probably wrong. If you think life is all about family, you're probably wrong. You know what I mean? Like, watch out for tunnel vision on it with everything, you know? I think at least. But guys, I think I'll go at like 30 minutes. Spent 30 minutes at the gym, spent 30 minutes here. Anyways, it's been a pleasure having everybody. I told you guys I'd spike my hair. This is definitely not going to be like a common thing because this takes an hour and a half to do like this, to make it so the spikes look like that, you know what I mean? And they stay up all day or whatever. So thanks for the likes, guys. Thanks for enjoying this coffee with me. You know, and we did today, you guys, like we did it, you know, and nothing bad happened. And you know, we moved on from it. So that's good. We're able to keep up. As long as we can keep up with our schedule, that's the important thing. And things don't get in the way. And we're able to define where we want to go and what we want to see and what is important. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me on the stream, and I'll see you next time. Bye.